Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tesla Economist. Tesla closing above 280 and also hitting 285 on Friday is an indication of how strong this stock still is. The stock essentially recovering from any efforts the Fed can throw at it in order to slow down the economy, and now less than 7% away from hitting the $300 mark. A big barrier that, if broken, we may see keep running. Giga Texas has just produced its first Cybertruck, which means we might expect the handoff event even sooner than most people were expecting in September. The first Model 3 was produced on July the 8th, 2017, and the handoff event was the 20 days later on the 28th of July. If that is anything to go by, we might see the Cybertruck handoff event potentially in early August. This event will likely be accompanied with all the new and latest updates and specifications that the vehicle is now carrying, which, according to Elon, should be very impressive. It's going to be a huge event for the company, an engineering feat that many said would never happen or was simply not possible. Yet now we're seeing evidence that we are getting close. This achievement feels really exciting and will no doubt add additional exuberance to the stock price when the market opens next week. Added to the fact that earnings are also next week, the stock price is going to be all about these events. Of course, there are two parts to earnings, the report and the call. And this quarter, in the report, the thing most investors care about are going to be the margins, which are expected to be somewhere between 18 and 19%, including regulatory credits. And regulatory credits are anyone's guess. The credits seem to have been getting high lately, around $500 million, but we usually expect around $350 million. If I had to guess, it might be slightly above $400 million, but that's about all we can do with credits, is guess. Margins were 19.3% in Q1, but we have seen a bit of discounting in Q2, so they are expected to be lower. However, we have also seen some commodity prices lower as well, so there's some mixed opinions. I would guess it'll be around 18.5%. This is just gross margin for autos, of course. So this is the most important number investors are looking for and will have the most effect on the stock price, assuming there isn't anything else too crazy in the report, like suddenly energy is up considerably. Energy should have increased, but I still think we're waiting for more supply for sales from the new CATL factory. Then we should start seeing some even better growth there. However, the margins are really more short-sightedness of the temporary stock price, and most investors now, at least retail, have moved on from the quarter-over-quarter results and are more focused on the longer-term horizon. I mean, what does it matter if margins are down 1% from last quarter, particularly when we're experiencing times of high interest rates and low consumer auto demand? Yet Tesla are still increasing their deliveries considerably over the quarter. And on top of that, we have a massive new factory on the way and a new one to be announced later this year, with something like double the output we currently have, which you might see in the next few years. Seriously though, how many companies do you know this size that plan on doubling sales in just the next few years? And that's just for one part of this business. Which is why the report is only really useful for the day-to-day stock price. Most likely the stock price will drop as traders take profits when the financials come out. But this report is not nearly as important as the next part of the earnings, the call with Elon Musk, when we hear about the actual future of this company and where it is headed over the next few years. The problem with the earnings call is it is quite frustrating hearing some of the questions being asked. Often they've already been answered, or if you're a big enough fan, you know the answer anyway, and they tend to focus on the short term, or get questions that are more for the avid Tesla consumer rather than investor. What I would most like to be asked would obviously be an update of the Cybertruck. Now we've seen that one has actually been produced in Texas, we are getting close. And I'm sure someone will ask if Elon hasn't already given an update as to when they expect the handoff to take place. I mean, it really looks like it's happening this quarter. And admittedly, I had my doubts that it may be pushed back to Q4 perhaps, almost like it was too good to be true, as it kind of is. But it is true. It really looks like it's happening. And when something that many people think is too good to be true becomes true, and the stock price reacts, investors could start to consider other sides of the business more seriously too. FSD, robots, are also too good to be true. But what if they also came into fruition soon as well? If Tesla can mass produce a Cybertruck, then maybe they can be successful with robots, or even robotaxis. We don't know what kind of momentum the stock price might experience at times, but we have seen it double in the space of just a few months in the past. So anything is possible, particularly with Tesla. I'm a big fan of the Model 3 Highland. I think it's going to be a really cool car. I can't wait to see what it looks like, along with the new specifications. This is starting to sound like Tesla's biggest refresh ever with one of their models. It would be great if someone at least asked about the model. Even if Elon replied with something like, "This is not the place we announce new models," then at least it could perhaps be implied that it is on the way. But everyone always likes to discuss the potential Osborne effect when it comes to new Tesla products, as we expect them to be such a step change in progress that any rational consumer would simply wait for the new product, so we can understand why Tesla have been so coy about this update. But we have witnessed pictures of this refresh and other leaked rumours, so there is a high chance it is coming sometime. And the Model 3 is 6 years old now, so it could do with some refreshing to pump demand a bit more, along with some cost-cutting processes. You know what though, in reality, this update itself isn't really that big a deal. It will only improve margin a bit due to lower costs, and potentially more demand, which would result in higher prices, but the Model 3 doesn't sell anywhere near as well as the Y. What will be interesting though, will be seeing how the new battery can perform, along with some of the other updates like Hardware 4. It won't dramatically increase profits though. However, when the similar update is applied to the Model Y, what with that being Tesla's best-selling vehicle, then that might have some impact. Anyway, in reality, I'm not expecting any mention of this car from Tesla yet. I would hope that someone asks about Mexico though, and what sort of timelines we might expect there. Perhaps we'll get some indication of when they plan on breaking ground and models start coming off the production line. I would love an update on the Gen 3 vehicle too, but I don't think the earnings call will be the event to get much more information on that product. It would be good to get an update on the 4680 sales though, and how they are progressing. We haven't had an official progress update since Q4 earnings call, so it's been about half a year. The last we heard then was that they were planning on ramping the sales next year, although the announcement we got from the 4680 line at Giga Texas was not overly encouraging, with results that would show minimal impact in vehicle production. I seem to be of the more unpopular opinion that 4680s won't be used in Cybertruck, at least initially, as a result. Bear in mind, they have the same energy density as LFP cells, and imagine placing LFP cells into a Cybertruck, unless they're going to launch with perhaps mid 200 miles of range. 2170 cells seem like the solution for now. And yes, they can be used, it doesn't require cell-to-vehicle structural packs. Anyway, if Elon can deliver a positive earnings call, I think there's a really strong chance then we'll see 300 again as early as next week. And then, with the anticipation that the Cybertruck is actually going to start deliveries, then we could see the stock run up to that event too. I feel like saying 330, but who knows, it could be anything. And if any other major news gets announced, like a Highland or Mexico breaking ground, then it could be like pouring gasoline on the fire, and the stock may even return to all-time highs. Nothing surprises me anymore with this stock. Hi there, I'm using Verbalate AI video translation and lip sync software. It's pretty amazing. Watch this. I can translate my videos into other languages. For example, I am now speaking Hindi.
नमस्ते, मैं पहली बार हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन वर्बलेटी इसे इतना आसान बना देता है.
Or how about Spanish?
Hola, vaya, increíble.
También puedo hablar español. Sign up at verbalate.ai today to gain early access to trial the product for creators and strategic partners, and gain the ability to translate and lip sync videos in all major languages. You can view the info in the description below.